Alright. I think we're good. Mm-hmm. I woke up. I got coffee. Fell back asleep. I woke up. I started streaming. And here we are. I've got that groggy morning voice going on right now. We're gonna try the epic music track. I don't know if it's gonna cause my YouTube video to count or not, but we'll see. We'll see. I know it'll work for Twitch. Most people watch me on Twitch anyway. YouTube's like a great way to find new people, but it doesn't. Twitch is way more interactive. It provides a lot more interaction. Alright, so we're going to try and spawn some chests. Let's do this. I have been working on Blocked and Loaded a little bit in the background. Just a lot of stuff going on in my life right now, so I'm glad we carve out these weekend streams to focus on getting the game done and saying hi to everybody. Because I just don't have time right now during the week, I think. Alright, so I added these chests. They've got a tag on them called chest spawners. And they're going to work very similarly to the enemy spawns, except that they only spawn once. And then they don't try to keep spawning over time. Alright. No matter what, we will destroy the chest spawner. But I'll replace it if I hit this random number. If I'm less than equal to it, then I'll replace the spawner with an actual chest. So let's get this going up here. We'll make it a 25% chance. That's fine. You don't need to remind me about deleted files, Microsoft. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Don't you know I'm streaming? Get no respect. Alright. So somebody told me that the basic programming refers to basic the programming language. I didn't know that. I thought it just meant like, you know, basic programming. So what else can we do? like there's nothing out there. I mean, you could use science and technology. What about C sharp? No. Unity? The hell's Unity Station? Maybe coding? Or how about code? Code of ethics? No. No. Nobody comes on Twitch to watch Code of Ethics. Sorry. Code programming. Yeah, it's just basic programming. Why is that in here? I mean, here's why I use it. Because somebody who's typing in programming will see basic programming, and they're not going to realize that it's some coding language. They're just going to think it means the word basic, hopefully. I've only had one person call me out and be like, yo, this is not basic programming. And then I was like, what are you talking about? It's basically programming. And then I was like, I see your point, though. I didn't think of it that way. It's technically not basic programming. I get it. Alright, so hopefully now the chest will just spawn in. Let's do that, actually. Spawn chest. And the vector 3 is the c.GameObject transformed up position. I think that's all we have to do, guys. I think we're done. The chest should just spawn in. Not everyone will spawn. And we have this nice overhead view right now to see it working. Ah, fudge. Did not work. Let's see why it didn't work. I said to destroy the game object. You should have been destroyed. Unless there was nothing in chest spawners. Let's attach to Unity. We're going to run that again. Oh, we didn't hit this. Why not? Intan equals false. Intan equals true. No! Intan equals false, you dummy. Well, at least that works. Stop it. Stop. Stop. Alright, now we should be fine. It's like, why is it not cutting this code? Alright, so now we'll check the chest spawn areas that look like they're missing. There's one. And it's got a hat in it. Yay. Well, that's kind of loud. Oh, it's gone. It's got a hat. I think they all have hats in them. Oh, hello. How do you do? You know what? I'm going to leave this hat in there. There you go. You're welcome. Hello. I use you as a... Oh, wait, I can't jump on top of somebody. That's right. Where's the one that I put 2 in? Is it this one? Oh, there we go. Alright. So it works. Bada bing, bada boom. And now I want to do NPCs. There's a couple ways to do this. I originally was going to spawn the NPC with like me passing in a bunch of variables to say, okay, you're going to be dressed up with, you know, the iron chest and the, you know, leather shoulders and all that stuff. And a better way to do it might be to take advantage of the Unity, you know, editor. Yeah, I gotta let me unravel my headset. It's all twisted up. Hold on. There we go. Alright, so that'll be spawning NPCs. I think it should work similarly to the enemy spawners, and that'll allow me to do it visually. So I think I made an NPC model. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to plop them down. Let's put them over here. I'll put them in front of the camera so it's like really fast to decide whether it's working or not. Actually, let's get it on the ground there. Rotate you. Alright, so we got our little NPC dude. Now what I'd like to do is replace this guy with an NPC. And I'd like to be able to just drag and drop onto him. Oh wait, no, I won't be able to hit the face, will I? Well, let me see. If I open up the cube here. Alright, there, right. Now I can get to the face. So I think I can edit the shaders directly. Maybe not. Maybe you have to be in this mode. But I'm pretty sure I can just drag and drop. If we go to materials. Pretty sure I could just do this. Yeah, so the problem is there's like a covering over the face. It's clear. And I'm hitting that instead of his face. So I'd like to be able to put this on the face right here. Oh, I do it right here. Okay, got it. Alright, I think I'm good. So, instead of the original way I was going to do it, I'm going to just take all the materials off of this guy and transfer it onto the NPC model. Just like the chests have like an object that I'm putting down that isn't the actual chest, the NPCs will be the same way. It's just like a way to represent them in the editor. Well, it's that, or if I don't want to go the visual representation route, I can add a bunch of like entries here. I could do it that way too. Because NPCs are pretty complicated. Yeah, I could do it this way. I could completely fill this thing out, edit his body and everything. See, I already started like going through this in my head. Because there's multiple modes I have to worry about. So there's like while I'm in the editor making the level, while I'm loading the level, so the data's been saved somehow, and then while the player's actually interacting with the NPCs. How do I access all this information? And do I destroy the NPC just like I did the chest? I think I will. Yeah, I think I will. But I do have to find a way to store the data for these elements right here. Now it's really easy to just pull a material like the rock onto his body and say, okay, that's yours now. The problem is finding a way to save this information so that later on when I load the level I can pull it up. I don't have a way of doing that right now, so I think what I'll do is I'll just assign a integer to each of these and load it up that way. So and instead of pulling it from like this list of materials, I'll pull it from I have a list of each thing. So faces, head, body, arms, legs, boots, gloves. I have lists of each of those, which I can then pull from to say, okay, assign that material to him, which I already did. It's just not as nice to look at in the editor because I won't have these already updated. So he won't, if I go to player skins, like he won't have the face on him. He won't necessarily have like the green on him, that kind of thing. Do that. Oh, I can't. Oh, these aren't materials, my bad. Yeah, so he won't necessarily have that already on him in my editor, but I think it'll just be easier to work with overall. So do I want to add it here so that I can do it all in the editor, or do I want to do it in the code? I think I'm going to do it here. We're going to add some ints to this script. So let's do this. We're going to say public int face index. Let's see, head, chest, gloves, boots, legs. I think that's it. NPC. It was called set clothing, that's right. Alright, so we need face, head, body. Okay. Face, head, body, glove, pants, and boots. And that's it. Okay. Alright, so those are some... Oh my god, I already said don't remind me! Stop, I'm gonna turn you off. I'll do it. I'll figure out how to do it, OneDrive. I'll delete you. Close. Close. Stop. Jerk. I told him twice. Once before the stream, once during. And then again, 3 times. I tell you, some of these things are worse than a virus. Okay. So now if I go back to the game, he updated, he has all these wonderful indexes. So I'm going to leave him at 0 for now. Let's see, default text. Hello, adventurer. Welcome to Honey... No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if you've seen that YouTube channel, but Epic NPC Man. You seem to be in one piece, despite the crash. Luckier than most. Okay, and then the rest will leave open, and everything else I don't want to touch. Very cool. Do I want to use a tagging system? Do I want to use a tagging system? Sure. Maybe. Oh, fudge. I gotta think about this. The index of the NPC really doesn't matter if I use a tagging system. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of... Do I get rid of index? No, because I want to still be able to mouse over the target, not enemies, an NPC. I want to be able to mouse over the target. I think this index will actually change as I create the guy. So I'll leave it as 0 all the time, but then when I spawn him in, it'll change. Okay, that I had to think that through in my head because it is weird that it's here now, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so we'll save that. Let's loop through all of the NPCs then. So town is equal to true. Try spawn NPCs. We do need the tag, so we're gonna add the tag. NPC spawners. Save. Okay. We need to do something similar here, so we need an NPC spawner. I'm gonna go over to science and technology. See if we can get anybody who wants to listen to that in the morning. Did I lose Twitch? No. No, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, let's change that. I don't think people are up who do basic programming. Let's do science and technology. I don't like doing science and technology because I always get less people, you know? But we'll try it. It's technically not basic programming. Basically programming, right? Alright, so we got our NPC spawners. We're going to do it the exact same way we did the chest spawners. So we'll make another game object. NPC spawners. And let's go define that thing. I don't need a chance or anything like that. I think that's actually all I need. Because all the data is stored on the NPC itself. All this data over here in the script that it has. So I really don't need to there's no chance. They always spawn. Unlike the chest. You know, unlike the enemies. Alright, so we need this new try spawn NPCs. You know, it's funny. I don't normally do stuff like this, like having the constants. I usually just type the thing out, you know, NPC spawners. But like recently at work, I've had to do more and more coding, and like it had been a long time since I had to code at work, and now I'm just in the habit of like properly formatting things. So I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll do it. But even here I didn't, because this is lowercase when it should be uppercase. Whatever, I don't care. It's not like I'm gonna change it because of my OCD or anything. You know, I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna change it. It's fine. And like this one, I'm not gonna change it. It's totally fine. We just leave it the way it is. See, I didn't have to change it, so I don't have OCD. Alright, so we want to do a loop, and we can do a for each in this case. Game object n in NPC spawners. And like, you probably haven't seen me do a lot of for each loops. I tend to not do it. In this case, it'll work though. We are going to have to keep track of which one we're on. So we're going to say int NPC index is equal to 0. And every time we do one of these, we're going to increment NPC index at the end of it. Alright, so now as I add NPCs, I gotta take all of the data off of here and put it into the actual NPC. It's weird. It's a weird system, you know, but it's taking into account the fact that I need an editor, and then the editor's got to save the data, and then I got to load the data, and then I got to present the data in a new way. You can't just copy objects wholesale, like, and store them. It doesn't work that way. You got to like rebuild them from data. And I could just have this object be like a little cube, like over here, like a diamond over there, to represent the enemy, and then have him spawn in and fall and all that stuff. But instead, I'm doing it this way so that I can get him exactly where I want him to be in the exact rotation I want, knowing exactly what he looks like. Because unlike enemies, the NPCs are always going to be the same. They're going to be a blockhead guy and just change the skins on him. That's it. So it's just nice to know, oh, that's exactly what that guy looks like. Whereas with the diamonds, I don't know what is going to end up here. It could be a slug, it could be a bee, it could be a monster. You know, they're going to drop down and fit on the ground however they do, but or however they will. But this guy here, I know exactly what he looks like, so that's why I'm doing it this way. Alright, so now we're going to have to loop through all this crap and get it over into the recreated version of this guy when the game loads. So we're going to try to spawn our NPC now. Alright, so NPC spawners. Or I'm sorry, N. We want to destroy him. That's true. We want to destroy N when we're done. And I think one of the things I'm going to want to do is clear these lists out. Maybe. I think I'm okay. I'm okay with doing that. I'm just thinking about it out loud, like when I don't think I was destroying the enemy spawners. I definitely wasn't, but I'm gonna need to. I'm gonna need to clear them up here at the start of the level. So enemy for each. Game object E in enemy spawners destroy E. I just had to think that through. So clear out any old enemies. I think the spawn NPC will take care of a lot of what I need. It's just missing a little bit of data. It needs a little bit more data. I could pass it a pointer to the NPC itself. That might be the fastest way to do it. So I pass a pointer to the NPC's script that we're saving, and then it can just access it directly. I think I can do that. I just got to remember how to do a pointer. But in the meantime, I literally could just copy everything here one at a time. That's fine. So let's get a list here of all the things. I don't need the index. Oh, well, I need to set it, so I guess I'll copy it. Alright, so let's see what we've taken care of. We're passing the NPC clothing part. I think is good. We don't need that. So I'm going to delete all of that, including the face. Now we're just missing a couple of things. We need the index, so that's right here. So that's done. We need now like the things he's going to say and what kind of NPC he is. So npcs.gameObject.getComponents interaction dot default text is equal to, and now we got to pass that stuff in. So let's pass in string default text, string offer quest, string on quest. You know, what's he gonna say when he initially offers it to this brave adventurer? What's he gonna say when he's on the quest? What's he gonna say when it completes? And then finally, what kind of NPC is he? So we'll say NPC type. Can I not do that? What's wrong with that? Is it in here? Oh, yeah, it's in there. Let's do NPC interaction dot NPC type. There we go. Cool. Okay, now we just fill in the blanks. Alt text, offer quest, on quest, quest complete, NPC type, okay. And I only need to read this data, so I don't need to replace it once the guy's been created. I don't think I ever will. I don't think it's going to change. We haven't even talked about, you know, NPCs that sell things to you. Okay. For that, I'm probably going to create like a dictionary of different vendors, and then it just picks which vendor he is. Like this guy sells level 1 weapons, and this guy sells building materials. Yeah, that kind of thing. So now we simply have to call spawn NPC and transform position and transform rotation and where's NPC interaction? Oh, .get component .face index. So now I gotta do this for each of these bad boys. I mean, I guess I could pass the, just to make this easier, I could pass this thing in to the NPC spawner. And that would make life a little bit faster here. So let's do that actually. Yeah, that'll make life a lot easier. No, I hit F12, didn't I? So now, instead of passing all that crap in, we'll do NPC interaction, and we'll call it script. Okay, and now we can just say, instead of all this garbage, say script.default text. Boom, 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 boom. Wait, why aren't you happy? Oh, I called it index. There you go. Much simpler. Just instead of all that garbage at the end, we just pass the one thing in. Okay. So that should spawn the NPC. Is my music still good? Did my music stop? There we go. You know, I didn't check my volume. I think I'm okay. I'm more than double the music, so I think we're good. Alright. Spawn time. Let's see what happens. He should just spawn in. Oh wait, I didn't set the level to 1. So yeah, it's all dorked up right now. Load level? Let's do load level 1. Now why did the chest show up? Oh. There shouldn't be any chests in, you know what, it's just because, so if I come from a level that had chests, it would have deleted the chests. So this is only a situation where I'm in the editor and I shouldn't have chests in there, but I do. So it won't be an issue in the actual game, it's just an issue right now. So I'll leave them there for now, even though they're kind of an eyesore. Now I just realized the NPC has different materials than this guy. And what I mean by that, these materials have offsets on them. I don't know where those are defined. But like his face, it has all these offsets right here. I don't think the other guy. Oh, we had a null exception. Why the hell did you have a null exception there? Let's run again. I didn't see that we had an error. Let's try that again. Now what's the matter? Why is there a null exception? This should never cause a null exception. Oh, enemy spawners is null? Why are you trying to spawn enemies at all? This is true. Update spawners. Oh. So we only want enemy AI and update spawners when you're not in town. That's why. I was like, why is it happening periodically? What's going on? It was trying to spawn enemies over time. Alright, so now if we look at this dude, he doesn't have the right offsets. Then why are you still breaking? Why are you loading the level over and over again? Okay. How'd you get in here? Is in town false? What the frick? Alright. Load level. We went to load level 1, which should put in town to true. So where did I put in town to false? Ah! Load level. What the frick is going on here? Stop. Maybe I didn't build this right. Let me stop this. Save. Build. It did build. Okay. Now we're running with it. Still got the null exception. If enemy spawners, so if it's not null. Okay, it'll take care of one exception. Alright, but then it's going to still call the update and have another exception. Oh, look at this dude! What's up? Oh, okay, now that it's not breaking there, it's okay. Look at this dude. He's got skin color. That's all he's got. He's just straight up super Caucasian. Alright, so at least it's working, though. Hello, my friend. It is a little weird looking straight into your eyes. Just a little weird. Alright, now we gotta make him interactable. There's something called the interactable mask. I think I'm going to rename this to Chest Interactable. And I just want to check and see. So Interactable's right there. So I want to rename this to Chest Interactable. Now for NPC model, I want to add a new layer called NPC Interactable. I was originally going to have just one layer for all interactions, but I think... do I want to do that? I mean, I guess I could, and I'll just check to see if a component exists. It feels janky to do it that way, but if I don't do it this way, where I do a single raycast and I hit the first interactable thing I can, I'll have to do multiple raycasts and checks on each interactable mask. I think. Can you do multiple masks? Wait, Alright, let's go back to what we had before. Let's call it interactable mask. I want to double check what I did for chests. What did I do for chests? Okay. He's got a script at the highest level. And the mesh collider is down here. Okay. So he has a mesh collider. What does the NPC have? Oh, he has the box collider. Alright, so just by doing that, I think it's going to say interactable when I mouse over the guy. Maybe not. Is he interactable? He is. Not hitting the brake. Got my laser over there on the left. I'm going right through his body. What is interactable mask? Maybe this broke. Well, maybe I broke it by changing the definitions up here for the layers. Like for chest, it still says interactable. Interactable. Maybe I broke it on the main script. Yeah, I broke it. Ugh. Interactable. Okay, now it should work. Oh, I'm glad I thought of that. That would have been annoying. There it goes. I hit it. So now I got to figure out how to do a check here. to say, hey, am I a chest or not? But if I just hit continue here, it should say interactable. Let's make this bigger. So this is interact. Oh, but the interact is behind him. Oh, how interesting. Because I'm putting that on the camera itself. Oh, that's not good. I don't like that at all. Let's move this over here. Is that true for this as well? It looks like this is good. But the interaction thing needs to be up on the big screen. Needs to be up on this thing over here. And not down in the world. So let's fix that now. Alright, we're going to change game camera to be a screen space overlay. There we go. Now let's see what it looks like. Nice. Much better. So now when I mouse over, I can click the button and it will break because it's going to go, where's my chest? It broke. You know, because he's not a chest. He has a chest, but he's not a chest. Alright, so on click. Stop. I think that's how you do it. I'm not 100% sure. So we're just checking for the NPC script. Put a little break in here. Attach it. Let's see what happens. It broke. Alright, so this is not a valid way to do it. Oh, it doesn't have a parent. Is that the problem? Oh, hold on. Okay, so that's, oh, fudge. So, the way I did the chest, if we look at this real quick. The mesh collider is in a lower level. It's here. And then I went, okay, go up to the parent and check for the script there. I think I gotta move the chest script down onto the cube. In this instance. No, I'm smarter than this. No, I'm smarter than this. If parent does not equal null, and there. And in this case, we'll just say hit that transform. Yeah, I'm smarter than that. Let's go. Put this right here. Attach to Unity. Go, go, go. I'm smart. Boom. Got it. So now I'm hitting this location right here. The code says it's an NPC to interact with. And I just left click, so now what happens? That kind of thing. So now I think we got to design a screen for what it looks like when you talk to an NPC. And I want to keep in mind that some NPCs are going to be salesmen. So you're going to be able to need to see your inventory and the stuff down here for like what they're selling. Potentially. Potentially. But for a normal NPC who's just going to talk to you and give you a quest, you're not going to see this information. So let's do one case at a time. Let's handle the guy who's just trying to show you or talk to you. So we'll do that now. Okay. Turn all our canvas eye off. Now I want a new canvas. Sorry, it's annoying me how these things are placed. Alright, canvas. Call it the chat canvas. To like a gray background, maybe 80%. Sorry, 0.8. There we go. I kind of want to have like the person talking to you and you like facing each other over here, like from above, and then the text over here. Call this chat text. Chat background. And then for the text, I think we want to go with white actually for the color. I'm always hesitant to use the tool here because it does a lot with scaling and stuff. I think this one in particular is okay, but like the scale one, if you use that, that can really mess up things later on when you're changing the size of the screen and all kinds of stuff. So I try to leave scale at 1 always for any of my UI elements for that reason. Oh, we need a name for our NPC. I didn't think of that. Oh fudge! I didn't have a name on the NPC. That's actually a really good call. Did I lose my music? No. Okay. Cool. I shall name you Mr. T. Mr. T tutorial. T Oriole. That'll be his name, T Oriole. I am so clever. So clever! I don't even like make it I make it so freaking obvious. I could have like jumbled the letters or something, but no. Alright, what else? What else? You need like buttons and stuff on there. Let's add some buttons. So gotta accept or reject. Let's put some text on there. Sorry. Sorry for the caps. Something's missing here. that looks a little nicer. Looks more like a button. Okay, bye. I don't know what else to write. I'm trying to think of words that, you know, are acceptable to every interaction. I think that looks clean. Yeah, I think that looks pretty clean. I like that.
think I'm happy with that. Alright. So let's populate this now. When you interact with the NPC, we want to set up a camera. We want to put his name on the screen and whatever his default text is, and then make these buttons work. So that's what we're doing right now. So what did we do? We created the NPCs. That was good. We updated their variables. Fantastic. We placed them in the world. We did the interaction script. We did that. We didn't do this. Didn't do that. We just made the canvas, although it's not done. And we didn't do the play talking animation. So we need to do that. But now let's add some more things. So we want to populate NPC name, text, make buttons work, and get camera turned on. So now we need a camera. Please let me zoom in, thank you. So we need another handy dandy camera. This is the inventory camera. Let's duplicate that. And it'll be the NPC camera. And so if I blow this up right here, what I want to do is get the player, like wherever he's looking at, like get the player like here looking at it, and then get the target right there. So it may actually be easier if I move this guy right next to him, and then I can really figure this out exactly where I want the camera. Alright, let's get position first and then we'll rotate it. I want the player there. Okay, let's rotate it. Oh, it's actually the opposite of what I wanted. What's up with that angle? No, I want it straight. Let's see what that looks like. It's not going to be perfect. I kind of want it. I kind of want it so you can see the person a little bit more. Let's move this up a little bit. Rotate down. Like, it'd be nice to know who you're talking to. Hey Panda, what's up? Hello. I got chess to work, and I'm working on NPCs right now, and like what they say when you talk to them. But yeah, spawners are working for enemies, chests, and NPCs. Now I just gotta get like the interactions to work with the NPCs. How are you doing, man?
want to rotate that one more time.
I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. I'm really just focused on where the player is, but I want to be able to see whatever he's looking at. So going over his shoulder like that might be the way to go. In fact, let's do this a little bit more. One more time. Kind of go over the shoulder. Glad it's going well. Thanks, man. Yeah, I got to do a little bit of work during the week, but not a lot. I'll definitely be putting more effort into this, probably this coming week. Just have a lot going on. But what I like about these weekend streams is it just forces me to do some work on it. You know, I can't avoid it because I'm committed to it now. It's good to like carve out time like that. You know, the other thing I could do is have the camera focus on the person you're going to talk to. Gonna put it there, and then no matter what, he's always going to be in front of you. It would be nice if the person you're talking to was in this area. Like, I think in the original game, it kind of goes up above you, like this. Like, it's up above your shoulder, and then, in fact, I think it's like way high. It's like up over here, and then rotate it around. I think it's like this almost. In the original game anyway. But then you have to worry about like not having walls that are ever there. I think that's okay. I don't want to spend too much time on this, you know. I want to keep moving, but at least the camera's there and we can make use of it. That looks fine. Alright, let's get this assigned to the camera list. What games are you playing now, man? Dude, I played Namalsk last night, like just to try it out. DayZ mod. Because I don't like playing mods. Like I've really stayed away from all mods in all games. I just don't like mods because I feel like it's not what the original designer wanted or necessarily had envisioned. So you're fundamentally not playing the same game. And I've always felt that when I play a game, I want to beat it. So playing a modded game, it just doesn't feel the same to me. It feels like if I beat it, well, I'm beating like someone else's game, not the original game. And like you don't have that commonality when you talk to someone else about the game and you start talking about things you've done in it. It doesn't mean the same thing if it's a mod versus the, you know, vanilla. So it was something new for me. I've never done mods. So I played it, and I gotta be honest with you, it's really fun. Like, it is really challenging, although it's only challenging because the players are on top of each other, I did not find like the cold that challenging. It's like, okay, I make fires more often now, and I have to hide them better. But like, it's actually easier to find food. It's easier to find clothing than in the vanilla game. It's just more that like you don't have a lot of space to do it in, so it forces so many more interactions with other players. Open TTD? What is that? What is Open TTD? But like, if I bring up a map here real quick. I'll show you what I mean. So like, in the mosque, let me make this a lot bigger. You have like a lot of open area. That's what all this green is. And then you'll have like one main town. Then you'll have a bunch of open area. You know, maybe there's some camping stands, but the map is very sparsely populated. I know there's a lot of dots on here, but they don't mean that much. And so it's like you have this main town, you have a little side town, you have a refugee camp, and then a whole lot of nothing, like all around it. And so what it forces you to do, and these towns are super small, what it forces you to do is make fires in locations where people can most likely find you, or like go out in the wilderness and challenge yourself to like build a fire out there and get colder and all that stuff. But it creates so much interaction with other players. Like you're on top of each other. There's nothing you can do. And then when you're going down south, it's like there's all these bottlenecks. Like this right here is a huge bottleneck. That's a bottleneck. Like this town right here is a bottleneck. Like it just forces you, it funnels you into the same area as other players really, really well. Whereas the Chernarus map is like this wide open experience where you can go anywhere and you can go hours without seeing anyone. You can go hours without hearing anyone. But on the Malsk, it's like you can hear gunshots all the time. Yeah, it's really well designed. I was really impressed with the way they designed it. Not because of the challenge. Like, I think the challenge is more of a marketing thing because I don't think it's that hard. Like, I think veterans who... It's just survival games in general. There's always, like, a threshold. It's like, you know, if you can just get over that incline to the point where you're no longer, like, being negatively affected by the elements and stuff, once you get over that hump, game is no different than any other game. Like, it's the same difficulty. But like if you're starving and you need food, food is everything. And then you get so much food you could never worry about it again. It's no longer an issue. And that's like every survival game, right? You can't get away from that because every survival game is just a big list of check boxes you have to check off. But the fun part to Namalsk is the fact that you funnel the players into one another and you force them to interact. And then the slightly more challenging gameplay encourages you to team up with people. And so I teamed up with somebody. His name was Storm, I think. I don't know if he's a Twitch streamer or not. All the streamers are on the day one servers now, so they're like really hard to get into. But I did it last night just to try it. And I teamed up with him and this other guy, I forget his name. And it was really weird, because when I teamed up with him, he's like, hey, my friend just died. I came here. I'm waiting for him to come back, but I think he's going to log off. And the guy who was dead had a single damaged piece of clothing in his head slot. And I was like, that looks like a gunshot. That's not zombies that killed this guy. This guy got shot. And the guy who's telling me about his friend who just died has a silenced Desert Eagle. And I remember thinking to myself, I wonder if he shot him and he's lying and saying it's his friend. Well, later on, we get into like a zombie fight, and me and the other guy who's not the Storm guy start killing the zombies. And I thought I heard like the snap of the Desert Eagle. And I look around to my left, and my friend who was just killing a zombie with me is dead. And I remember thinking to myself, oh no. And then I heard snap. And I died. So that mother trucker killing off everyone who joined him. So he was just point blank shooting him in the back of the head with his Desert Eagle. He must have thought he was so good. Meanwhile, I don't have the map up anymore, but we were like at the northernmost section of the map, like we didn't have a lot of stuff on us. Like he was so stupid. Why would you kill people? Like I don't understand that part. Like people like will kill each other for loot and stuff, but like it just cracks me up that you would waste your time. Like he was just randomly teaming up with people, killing them, and then running up north and teaming up with them again. It was so funny. So stupid. Anyway, yeah. I honestly, I think I should stream some DayZ once in a while. Like, I feel like I'm a little better at the game now. It's one of those games where, like, the number of hours you put in does not really signify your skill level, because it's so hard to get engagements in that game where you actually get to practice certain elements of the game. And so you can go thousands of hours and not be in that many gunfights, like, for being that many hours into the game. And so, like, deathmatch servers and that kind of thing can really help. But the player interaction is freaking hilarious. Like, people are utter dirtbags. Absolute dirtbags in that game. Like, they'll team up with you for like 4 hours and then murder you. It's just ridiculous. And you just have to laugh. Like you can't take it personally or get upset about it, or else you'll never play again. But all right, so let's add our camera to the list here. But yeah, I think about it, man. I do think about whether I should stream some games, but then I'll never finish this. So we got to finish this. Where do I define all the cameras? I completely forget. Oh, right here. Chest. And then NPC inventory. Yeah, dude, so because of that guy, I started creating a list of kill on sight. Do whatever I want. Thanks, man. Well, I mean, I did the whole like stream every line of code for Rogue Party and do it every night for 2-3 hours, and you know, that was actually pretty fun. But it was a lot of time, and it's hard to commit to that chunk of time right now with my job. So like the weekend streams are what I can do, but obviously I'm gonna suffer, you know, viewership for that. It's more that I just want to keep in people's minds that I'm working on a game. You know, like just keep putting it out there, make myself available. Like today we had 2 other people join the Discord, and it's just like they trickle in. You know, you get another person here every day, every other day. You know, it adds up over time. So I think the key for me right now is just to be available. People can find me on YouTube. People can find me and join my Discord. And then when I push out a new game, there's always, you know, more people in the mix who can play it and test it and, you know, give me feedback. But somebody wrote a review for Rogue Party 2, I think, that was cracking me up. Let me see if I can find this. Speaking of. The most scuffed yet exhilarating game I played this year. Oh, that made me cough so bad. Dude, legend. Zakajas. Zaka Juice. Oh my gosh. What a legend. And then what Nebula wrote, this game is the best thing you could ever imagine. That made me snort. So first of all, the absolute thrilling combat makes your heart pound with every lance you throw. Dude, this guy, I can tell this guy actually thought about this, which is hilarious. I love this. And don't get me started on gulping down those yellow potions. I wonder what it was. What do you think the yellow potion was? I wonder if it was like numbing or drunk or something like that. This game will definitely solve all of your life problems. Your math marks will skyrocket after understanding damage coefficients and proc rates. And when you know all the items and the prefixes off memory, you will instantly become Jesus and get a PhD in the Steam marketplace trading. That doesn't end there. Goblin himself will arrive at your door and give you a $1,000 to the $1,000 Steam card in USD. That's like over infinite CAD. And he will give you a Valve Index along with a computer to run Rogue Party 2 with RTX on and over 60 frames per second. So overall, the game is a 10 out of 10. Best game I've ever played in my life. Guys, I'm not lying. Should I respond? I feel like I should respond. It was good enough in a way to put that much effort. Yeah, no. This guy was hilarious. He messaged me on Discord after he wrote it. I was cracking up. Best review ever. Worth the read. 10 out of 10. No TDLR needed. I can't. I shouldn't respond to these things. I really shouldn't. It even tells you, like, in most cases, you should only respond if you need to address a specific issue. You're not allowed to have fun, but I kind of want to respond really bad and like make a joke out of it too. But that cracks me up. No, he messaged me. He said he really liked the game. He's just being funny. I'm assuming this is his friend. Usually reviews come in pairs, and it's like people, you know, who tried the game together and liked or didn't like it, and then they review it. Oh, that was so funny. I was, dude, I was like crying laughing. It was brilliant. 'Cause usually it's like, someone will write like 10 out of 10, best game, like as a joke. But they don't put any effort into it. Like, he actually put effort into that. My guess is he's probably like he or she. I mean, let's be honest. I do have one or two females that probably watch. Maybe, probably not. It's like, dude, Twitch is like male dominated. It's insane. It's like something like 80% males or 90% males that follow me. But that being said, taking it back to DayZ, that is the most females I've seen in DayZ ever. If you play on the Malsk, odds are, like, after a couple hours, you'll run into a female. And I think that's really cool. I think the marketing on DayZ has been towards women. Like, they definitely have tried. Like, every video that they put out, the main character's a female. Like, they're trying to expand that audience, which I think is great. And I think it's interesting to watch how people react in a survival game to having men and women together in the same group, and it just adds like a huge dynamic, and it's so much more interesting than just a bunch of dudes killing each other. At least it felt it was good enough in some way to put. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if you want to meet women in video games, play DayZ. Play Namalsk specifically. I've never met a woman in DayZ anywhere besides Namalsk, and then they're like everywhere. They're like just every freaking where. It's probably at least 20% of the population. It's ridiculous compared to like normal. Alright, so I added the NPC index. Where do I actually define this thing? There we go. Let's do that. And we'll do this. What did I call it? I can't remember. NPC camera? Cool. Okay. But yeah, this morning we've gotten the chests to work. They spawn in. You know, I already had like an individual chest working, but they weren't spawning. And like you can place them in the editor and they spawn. The enemy spawner worked from last week. We tweaked it a little bit. Now we're coming up with the concept of being in town or not in town. So when you're in town, things like shooting don't work. There are NPCs that spawn that you can talk to and interact with. But then when you're not in town, you know, the enemies are constantly spawning in. Chests can spawn at the start. Like, there's different rules when you're... It's basically in combat or not in combat is kind of what it is. But it's based on the zone you're in. By the way, do you think this game should have open world PvP? Like, the original game, you could only PvP if you went into a specific area. Wish everyone a great stream. Thank you, Dream and Storm. Appreciate it. It's always nice seeing the little girl with the wrench pop up. Ohio. Thanks, man. Currently muted. I understand. I understand. I'm sorry. You don't like my voice. It's okay. You mute. It's fine. I appreciate the support. No, I would mute myself, honestly. Open world PvP is good usually, though they mostly have it locked to people only about level X. Yeah, so I was thinking about doing it the way I did Loot or Die PvP, where it's not that you remove the advantages of a geared player, but you like you drop them down to the same level as the person they're fighting, but you don't remove any of the advantages they have from their gear. So, like, it's a percentage-based thing. If you're in World 1 PvPing and you have World 2 gear on, the World Tier 2 gear, let's say it's 50% better than World 1 gear, I would drop you down 45%. So you still have a small advantage over your opponent because you outgear them. And you still have access to new weapons and on-use abilities and items that the other guy doesn't, but he has a chance to beat you, like a very real chance to beat you. That's probably the way I would do open world PvP, so that if you ran around trying to kill the equivalent of like low-level people, they could gang up and kill you pretty easily. So I think that would be good. The blocked and loaded world has a limit of 4 players per combat zone. So unless you do a PvP specific combat zone. So when you have enemies running around and whatnot, because of like it being a multiplayer game and passing data between the players, having a lot of enemies takes up a lot of that bandwidth. And so you don't want to have too many players in the game at once with that many enemies. So I could reduce the number of enemies and make them more bullet spongy. Or I can have... I like the feel of like popping the enemies after a couple of shots. Like, I don't like having the bullet sponge. So I'm probably going to keep it to 4 players per zone. Maybe I'll up it to 6. But that being said, if I do 4 players per zone, you can't like call your friends to help you. You know, and I feel like in World PvP, calling your friends to help you is very important. So I'm a little on the fence of how I would do it. It might be that if I were to draw it, you have like a PvE zone that where it's only enemies, and players from the opposite faction can't enter it. So it's like PvE, and they can enter it, but you can't see them. So like they can't join your game. Okay, so like let's say it's like Team A and B, right? Team A and Team B, they can't both be in the same PvE instance. And then I could have these PvP zones that lead to the next PvE area that you have to go through. And, you know, both sides could enter that PvP zone at the same time. And then the PvP zone could have 8 players. So this can only have 4. This can only have 4. And then this could have 8. So if you had a team of 4 people, you like running through a PvE zone, and you want to go to the next one, you have to travel through the PvP. Now you can have 8 players. So if the 4 over here on Team A and the 4 over here on Team B meet in the middle, they'll see each other. That's my idea. I don't know how practical it'll be. But I feel like it would create some real tension. Like, all right, I'm killing the PvP monsters. I'm excited to get over here to the boss and kill the boss, and I get jumped by a bunch of players on the way. And now it becomes a call to arms. You know, I got jumped by a bunch of people. I need you to come over here and help me. But I think it's important that I limit the number of people from each faction so that you don't get 6 versus 2. You know, make sure that it's only 4v4 maximum. And so, like, if you go in by yourself and you get jumped by 4 players from Team B, you can call your 3 friends over and they can jump in that instance and protect you. I think in PvP it's really important to be able to turn the tables on people and bring in your friends. So, and if it's a PvP focused instance, 8 is not necessarily the limit. I mean, you could probably get away with 12 or 16 people if I do the code really well and I limit what's in this zone. Yeah, like no enemies, no chests. Well, chests actually wouldn't matter because they're client based, but like no PvE enemies for sure. But it depends. Like if the game has the ability to like summon AI to help you, I gotta be careful with that because I can't add too much to the PvP zone. So anyway, it's complicated. It's really complicated. But I like the idea of this game having some kind of PvP. And having this zone, which, hell, you can run through it and you can get killed. And you'll just respawn in the zone somewhere and then try and run to the exit. And, like, maybe people will camp it. Whatever. You still will probably be able to get through. Like, eventually just trying over and over again. It won't be like they can block you entirely. But, I mean, that kind of stuff creates interesting moments in games. Like, griefing, while really annoying, allows for some amazing content. Like, when you kill a griefer, it feels so freaking good. Like, there's definitely something to that. It's just a matter of, like, if the griefers can do it so easily that they'll just, after you kill them, they just start again and annoy the next player. Well, that's not good either. So there's a lot to game design. Like, there really is. It's not as simple as, like, I want PvP. Go. There's a lot to think about. Alright, so we added our camera. Now I gotta look at where I turn the camera on. I completely forget how cameras work because it's been like a month. Where is it? Setup camera. Damn it, it was at the top. Dang it. In PlanetSide 2, it boasts 1,000-player battles, but it holds objectives in sectors, and those sectors usually have about a normal FPS game worth match of play people. Yeah, they probably have the game in the sectors so that they can, you know, do exactly what you're saying, limit the amount of people in the area. The only game, 2 games actually, PUBG and Fortnite, are some of the few games that do a really nice job with large player versus player battles. And even then, they try really hard to separate the players so that you don't have 50 versus 50 in the same spot. But I've seen people like do things like a zombie challenge where it's like 5 players versus 95 zombies that are just humans running around trying to smack them. And the zombies will all group up, and you'll have 95 versus 5 in a very small area, and there's no difference in terms of latency, and people aren't like skipping around and lagging, rubber banding. So they do a really nice job with those servers. It's partly because the game's so simple. Like you just have to track where a player is, and the occasional animation and like firing their guns. There's not a lot to track in terms of multiplayer states and statuses, and a lot of it can be done, you know, over time versus every single frame. So it's come a long way, but until technology gets to the point where you can send an unlimited amount of data over the bandwidth instantly, you're always going to have networking issues in video games. And you basically, I've talked about it on stream before, but you basically have to lie to the player to trick them into thinking that the world has no issues and that everything's working great. And like people do teleport in video games, you just don't know it because they do a good job of like creating animations that fill the gaps and whatnot. In PlanetSide 2, I've been in battle with 100 plus people at once, all in different flying ships, tanks, cruisers, and many on foot. Not a fun experience. Oh, does it slow down and stuff? Well, there's only so much there's only so much bandwidth you can take, like data. Every single player has a position, a rotation, and it's not being every single frame like transferred, but it's every like quarter of a frame. So maybe 4 times a frame, you're getting all the data for every asset. Like, it's just a lot of information. And even if it's just the XYZ coordinates, those are floats. They're big. There's 3 of them. And it's for every single one of those players. And in terms of scale, like, you're only going to have, like, 2,000, 4,000 kilobytes that you can send back and forth. And those positions are taking up, like, I forget the exact number, but they're taking up a large chunk of that. And each set of coordinates is going to be like 100. I forget how many bits it is for the floats, honestly. Is it like 12 bytes? I forget. And then so it's about 100 bits or something. I don't know. But that's only one position. If you've got 100 people, you're already well over your bandwidth. And so if you don't have some crazy bandwidth and a great connection to the server, you can't handle the thing you're describing. They can even attempt that. Yeah, I mean, everything is scalable, right? But it gets to the point where the server can't keep up with sending and receiving the data, and you personally can't keep up with receiving. Sending is a lot easier than receiving, which is why when a player is the host, they tend to not have any issues, but it's the guys who are on the receiving end that do. You can send much more data. Oh wait, do I have that backwards? I might have that backwards. It might be that you can receive more than you can send. I forget how landlines work, but yeah, I forget. I used to have this all mapped out because I had to figure out, like, okay, like the game Zombie Town, the multiplayer in that game is really smooth, and it's a simple game, but it's like 2D side scroller. But the zombies were like 100 plus on the map, and they're all in a small area. And so I had to like figure out some crafty ways to track the data for them and not slow down the game. And so I mapped out, okay, here's every bit for the maximum amount of zombies. How much data am I sending per second to all the players? And then add it all up and figure out, like, okay, this game will run great if you have, 4,000 kilobits a second. Like, think about, like, people who are streaming. When they stream, it says, like, the number of kilobits that they're sending. Like, that's what I was figuring out. Like, how much am I sending and receiving per player? And the host is, sending out the most information, and the players are receiving that information, and they're only sending back to the host their personal location. It's similar to how a server works. But so like the players who were sending just their personal location and like where they were aiming their gun and stuff and whether they were using an item, they're just sending it to the host and the other players. And so that's not a lot of data. But the host is sending like 100 zombies worth of data to everyone. So it's a lot. It's a lot more complicated than people realize. And people are like, oh, just make it multiplayer. And there's a game out there called Project Zomboid. It's been in development for like 10 years. And I don't know if I ever sent my resume to them, but I feel like I should. I feel like I could help them. Even if it was like part-time, I think I could do a lot for them because they're struggling with multiplayer right now. Because they built a single-player game that has thousands of zombies. There is no physical way at this time to represent those enemies in a multiplayer experience. You just can't do it. It's physically impossible. There's ways to do it if it's not a live action game, like if it's a turn-based game, because you don't need to send the data constantly. You can just send changes, like, oh, this enemy moved on his turn, so I'm just going to send the data for that one enemy and not the thousands. But when there are thousands of zombies, even if all you're doing is sending the XY coordinate, because it's a 2D game, that is just too much information. If it was just the X coordinate, it would be too much information for thousands of zombies. So the way they're going to have to get around that is to do something like, okay, the other players are going to have to tell the host, I'm in this area. And then the host will have to say, okay, you can see these 20 zombies nearby. I'm going to tell you where they are. You animate them, like on the client side. And the problem will be when there's hundreds of zombies all in the same spot and the players are all nearby. It'll just like slow to a crawl and be unusable. And so they have a real problem on their hands. Like they may not be able to solve it. It's that challenging. Like no other game has. So I feel bad for them with what they're dealing with. I really do, because they have a real struggle on their hands, and they're a small team, and it's been the same team I think for like 10 years making that game, and they're like, let's add multiplayer. Holy crap, this is hard. Like they even put out a video on it. I didn't watch the whole thing, but they were basically describing some of the issues I'm talking about with multiplayer, and it's like, yeah, this is why I don't have more than 30 enemies on the screen. Like there's real issues you have to deal with, and not everybody has a great internet, and sometimes the people with good internet are playing with the people with bad internet. You got to deal with that. Yeah, it's a huge problem, and the solution I described, where the host keeps track of the thousands of enemies, and then he only tells the other players about enemies that are near them, that is a solution, but it only gets you so far if you get thousands of enemies in the same area. So, I mean, their pride and joy, or their calling card, the thing that they're known for, let's say, because I can't talk today, the thing that they're known for are these giant, ridiculous zombie battles. And they do a pretty good job when there's only a couple of players involved. But once you get to a server with, 20 players, their game really crawls when the like zombies are moving around, and the zombies like bounce around, they're janky, and it's not their fault. That's technology today. It can't support it. So they're going to have to get really creative. I can think of ways you could design the levels to prevent some of those issues. I also think that they could change the camera a little bit so that it's not possible to see as many enemies. And they could also do this thing where maybe the server sends to the players the locations of the zombies sporadically, not constantly. And because the players can only move so fast on the map, and then when they enter a new area, have the zombies in that area, have their information get updated, but not until they move to that area. So I think one of the things they'll have to do is have the zombies not move around when they're off screen. Like that would be one of the solutions, I would say. And that way, maybe you move them once in a while on the server, but you don't tell the players that they're moving. So it's just a lot. It's a lot to think about and figure out. And I feel really bad for them, because I feel like they put something on the wall, let's get multiplayer to work, and then they were like, holy crap. And they've had multiplayer for a long time in that game. It just was not well optimized. And you'd get to a point where if somebody fired a gun, the game would just crawl because there were thousands of zombies in one area. And the server was like, okay, I'm trying my best here. I did play it for a little bit. And we would have these things where we'd go out and we'd shoot the zombies, and we'd murder them by the thousands, but the server would be like crawling the whole time. So like it works, but it's like really unfair, because if a zombie gets close to you, by the time you react, you've already been bitten. Like it's already game over because it's janky. But even games like DayZ suffer from this. Like, everybody suffers. It's just how technology works today. You just don't know it because some of the AAA games do a really nice job of hiding it. And coming up with creative ways to disguise what's going on. But yeah. Alright, so cameras, NPC inventory. And I'm like self-taught, so, you know, these companies know better than I do. You know, I'm completely 100% self-taught. I'm looking at their problems going, I think I know what their problem is, but maybe I don't. Like, maybe there's more stuff to it. And I've definitely never used a server. I just understand the concept because I do peer-to-peer, so it's similar. But there might be other issues involved and like overhead and stuff that I don't know about. All right, let's see. I want to turn on the NPC inventory when you click on an NPC. So let's go to interactable mask right here, and we're gonna say set up camera. Camera type dot NPC inventory. Why'd I call it NPC inventory? Am I stupid? NPC, just NPC. Okay. And then I probably want some kind of tracker here. Oh, I did that with the setup camera. I do like a camera index, I think. Yeah. Because I need to keep track of when you're in that screen so that you don't like move around or anything like that. So I have something similar for when you're in the inventory. I just gotta find it because I haven't looked at that part of the code in a month. That's the one downside to these weekend coding sessions, is that I miss a lot during the week. I just forget about it. Player state. That's how I did it. Alright, we'll call this NPC. I gotta set the player state to talking to the NPC. And I don't remember if I do this in the camera, actually. Let me double check. Am I doing it in the camera? Open chest. Let me check out where I call this. Setup camera. Okay, I don't do it in the setup camera. I'll just do it right here. And let's take a look at where we do player states inventory. That's it? That's all I do? What do I just say if not normal? Player. Oh, okay, great. Oh, this is perfect. So I'm always checking that I'm in the normal player state. So if I'm in any other state, I won't be able to jump. I won't be able to move around. This is good. This is good. I had a professor in college who used to, like, tilt his head like a bird and twist it and tweak it. Like he had an itch or something on his neck, and he'd go, "This is good. This is good." And his head would, like, spin. Like it looked like his head was going to fall off. It was like a nervous tick almost, combined with a phrase he liked to say. So he'd be like, "This is good. This is good." Almost like a parrot. Quack. You know, parrots, like, they'll turn their head really weird and look at you, and then they'll say something that actually makes sense. But their, like, facial expression will not match the thing that they're saying. That's what he looked like. This is good. But his face would be, like, grimacing. Oh, he probably had a disability. I shouldn't laugh. Just, you know, dumb kid me didn't realize it. Now, how do I get out of the inventory? if you push tab, player stays equal to normal. This is fine. I think it will actually just work. I think the way I did it will work regardless of what state I'm in. Oh, I gotta turn off this damn thing. NPC camera. Sorry. Family friendly. This dang thing. Sorry, I'm not good at talking when I'm thinking. It's much better when I just already know what I'm gonna do. So canvas, NPC camera. Go to start. Object.find. And what did I call this? Chat canvas. Okay, we'll say little brain fart there. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about games, I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I do find it fascinating the way developers solve problems and whatnot. Project Zomboid's a really interesting one because they realized right away that they were very slow at developing the game. They're 10 years in, for crying out loud. And so they started doing like these weekly, they call them blogoids or something. They always put oid at the end of every word. They think it's funny. It is funny. It's cute. But they're like Thursdoids or something they would call them. And they'd put out like the status of what they were working on, and their developers were each tasked with like providing a blog update for the community. And I think it was very wise because it showed people that they were working, kind of what I'm doing right now, on the game and making progress, and to help explain why it was so slow. The only thing I think they did wrong is not expanding their team. And I don't really know, right? Maybe they did, and I haven't stayed up to date on it. But I'm fairly certain they're still a very small team. And they made a decent amount of money off their game. And I think what they should have done is hired more people. They should have hired me. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think I even applied to that company, but I kind of want to. It'd be nice to work on a project like that. But I think the game says it all. The game's title is called Project Zomboid. Like, from the very beginning, it was about having a lifelong project that was like their hobby, and it wasn't really about finishing a game. And their list of like things to do are very long, and they intend, I think, to work on that for the rest of their lives. And so they've designed it that way. So knowing that, if you buy the game, understand that it's like this lifelong project that you'll be a part of, and it's never going to be I don't think they're ever going to cut a version of the game and say we're done. I think they have every intention of just going forever, and they've already gone through updates to like the graphics, so they've already gone through the process of like, okay, the game's been out long enough now that we have to update the graphics because it's been so long. And it's like, okay, well, that's usually when you make a new game. Like DayZ's the same way. They're like, why give up our infrastructure and our code because we're a small team and we don't have the assets we don't have the people available to rewrite all this code and modernize it. So we're just going to do everything we can, duct tape and spit, to keep the old engines running. And I think it's a mistake, but I don't judge them for it because I do similar things, because it's a hobby to me. But when I feel like if you make enough money from this, you should think about investing back into it, But what do I know? The other thing is these guys have publishers, so it's easy for me to critique, right? It's easy for me to say these guys should behave a certain way because I have full creative control over what I do. And when you have a publisher, you don't have that. And so publishers have things like a certain amount of money they want to make, and deadlines and restrictions and all these other stuff. And so I'm sure that a lot of these people, they have to find a middle ground with their publisher too. So I don't mean to criticize them directly. I mean to look at it from like a everyman's view and be like, why don't you do it this way? You know, but there's always a reason. And you don't always get to see all the details that lead up to that decision. But, okay. So we got our check canvas. Let's turn it off. And then we will turn it on when we set the camera. I can't type. All my Switch friends are going to be like, why aren't you using Switch? I don't want to right now. Because I have full creative control. Wait, what do you mean soft? Oh, did you get an infinity loop? Did you Thanos your game? No! Alt F4. I mean, I hope you saved, but yeah. If you're using Visual Studio, it should remember... It hopefully will have a saved version of the game, just like or code, just like Microsoft Word. If you like Alt F4 it, it'll try and save a version of the code recently. You clicked on a mission and it's just stuck. I'm really excited for your game, Panda. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually really excited. Can you tell me what you're thinking about doing in it? Because it looked like it's a clicker game. Like you click on something, you build up your count of that something. Like if it's a rock or ore or whatever, you spend it to become better at clicking, or to like send your guys on excavations or something, and then you go back to clicking again. So it's like it's a simple but very effective gameplay loop. I think they're called cookie clickers. My guess is you'll you're gonna design it to be a clicker, and then you're gonna be like, all right, I want to add this feature, that feature. Like it'll probably graduate into something else. But the other thing you can do is just make a really good clicker, and make it good and sell it and see what happens. And yeah, if you need any help, let me know. Like going through the process of like getting the game on Steam, or if you're just gonna like do it for free or whatever, that's fine too. But like just let me know if you need help. It is very confusing getting stuff on Steam. There's a lot of little pieces to it that they don't fully explain. It's already expanded. See, you're probably like me, like the fun is creating something new to me. I get bored. Like right now I am not creating something new. It's very easy for me to get bored right now, and I have to fight it and just focus on getting through it. Because like what I'm doing right now, like making an NPC that you can talk to, I've done 100 times. But hey, that makes me do it a little faster. But yeah, when I'm working on something that's new that I've never done before, that's when I have the most fun. I actually feel like when I finish the game, I don't have that much fun. Like it's the process, the journey of getting there that's the fun part for me. Oops, that's the wrong camera. My backspace is up at the top of the screen. I've never seen that before on the alts. That's funny. Let's do this. And it's called Chat Canvas, I think. Yeah. I can't type. My gosh, I'm hitting all the wrong buttons. What, am I drunk? Definitely, since it's honestly not going to be very quality. Honestly? Okay. You're thinking about it wrong. Let me ask you something. If you make a game... Oh, that's way too tiny. That's still kind of tiny. let's say you make a game that is pixels, okay? Everything's pixels. Is that a higher quality game than something that's done with like lines? If everything in the game is blocks and you stay consistent and you use the same format everywhere, is that better than the one with the slopes and the lines and the curves? Like, to me, it's all about sticking to a format, like a theme. It's and then doing the theme well is the definition of quality, not what the graphics look like. Look at Valheim, dude. It's a bunch of pixels for their sprites, their sprites, not sprites, their materials. I can't talk or type today. The materials on their 3D models, they look like garbage. Like when you look at them, they're just like, here's a bunch of pixels. Like, it literally looks like someone did this. And then threw in like some different colors. This is what their like materials probably look like in Valheim, and it looks so good because they did a nice job of like modifying the lighting and playing with the pixelation. Like, they just stick to a theme, you know. If you stick to a theme, things can turn out looking pretty decent. They at least look like they go together. And for your first, is this your first game? For your first game, that would be really good just to get stuff to like kind of fit together. Look, to make it look like it all came from the same artist, basically. I need more coffee. I need more coffee. Let's see. We are turning our canvas true. Now we gotta turn it off. Where do I do that? Up here. It's a good thing I left these helpful little comments for myself. Future me. I don't want to lock the cursor. So do that. Okay, I think this will work. We're going to click on the dude, and the canvas should pop up. Up, or everything will break. I think I didn't declare something somewhere. Maybe this didn't work. Oh, I left these turned off. Oh, I'm stupid. That's why. Alright, let's try this again. Okay. So we click on our friend. Then we hit tab, and we're out. Does escape work? Escape does not work. I don't think it ever did. It still says interact, so the interact thing should go away when you can't actually interact with someone. So that's a bug. But there you go. Then I could click on the buttons. So that's cool, and it shows the guy I'm talking to. So let's approach from another angle. He's still kind of there. Get up in his grill. Max range is kind of far on this. I don't like that. I want it to be a little closer, I think. That's too far. Maybe there. Maybe about cut it in half. Alright, let's make it so you can't you don't have the interact option up when yeah, when I'm in like the inventory screen, I don't want the interactable option to show up. I only want it to show up when you're in the head camera. So if interactable option is true and camera index is equal to head, I think that'll fix the problem. Let us see. Alright, it says interact. I go into my tab option to see my inventory, and bada boom, I can't interact. Now I'm in here. There's no transition. That's something else. The original game had like a transition between the cameras. I'm kind of tempted to create one. I think it didn't for talking to the NPC, but it did for this. It would like go to like your head, like right behind your head, and like enter the back of your head as if you were looking through there. Rabid Plays, what's up, man? How's it going? We're over on Twitch too, by the way, if you prefer that. A lot of people see me on YouTube and they jump on Twitch. Alright, so the interaction thing I think is working. How's your morning going, by the way? The Man Games, what's up? Oh, it's a party. How's it going, man? Working on Blocked and Loaded. Do you guys need a little recap of the stuff I've done? Let's do that. Let me make this a little bigger for you. And let's load in a combat zone. Let's load level 0. Will Really Scary and Real Evil be an Xbox One? Oh, I just noticed you have the teddy bear as your picture. Yo, that thing is still in my closet. The GUIs are looking nice. Thank you. Haven't been in the streams in a while. Busy? No, it's fine, man. What have you been up to? You said you're doing YouTube stuff. YouTube stuff. Did I? Okay, there we go. We got some slugs loading in, so they spawn in. If I get over on this side, they should spawn over there after like 10 seconds. Hopefully. It's random. But anyway, these guys spawned. So right now he's just chilling. He's friendly. He's cool. We're cool. Everybody's happy. I can stand on his back. We're good. And then I'm going to shoot him in the face. So now he's pissed, and he's pissed over there. And they're going to try and shoot at me. Ah! So we got body parts flying around. We got... And he's back to being happy. He didn't notice that I killed his friend, apparently. We got treasure chests over here that we can interact with. They open up. Isn't that cool? We got a helmet we can put on. Put back in the container. And we have an NPC to talk to. So I haven't put in the game like how this works just yet, but you can interact with him, and it shows like his name and the chat he's going to give you, and like whether you accept or not. There is the option to build. You can actually build blocks. Xbox One is not going to have any of my games. Rabid Plays because Slug Mount DLC. Yeah, sure. I also have slopes. Check this out. Boom. It's not because I don't want them to. I can rotate it too, which is cool. It's because it's just the way the Xbox One program works. I don't really want to do it. And you need like a publisher and stuff, and I don't have that, so I'm just gonna move on and do something other than Xbox. Stay on Steam for now. Sorry. And if I do Real Scary again, Isn't that cool though? We got the slopes in the game you can build. So that's another thing. If I do Real Scary again, I want to do like a monument or a museum or something like very classic. And it would take me like coordinating with that location. Like I could purchase the ability to film or something in a famous location, or I could do like a national park or something. I even thought about doing like a log cabin, like renting a log cabin. Look at all the slugs! They spawned in on top of each other. Let's make them angry. Oh God! Look at them all. They are not happy with me. Oh my goodness! It's like I just shot one of their friends in the face. Let's see him explode. There's all the pieces, the bones. I love the bones. To interact. What happens if I aim? There you go. Oh yeah, there's also water. We got splashing water. Do you see it splashing? It should splash when he enters too. Yeah. Come on, come here. Go in the water. Go in the water. I want to see splat. There it is. It's splashed. Okay, cool. There's also jumping. But yeah, so that's what I have in the game so far. And some of the stuff I've been working on recently is like behind the scenes, like in a level editor. So I have these like chest spawners. I have enemy spawners, and now I'm working on NPCs. Sorry, now I'll catch up on chat. My bad. I played Really Scary 1 and Real Evil. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of other stuff out there on Steam. A lot of the Xbox 360 games you can't even play anymore because they were multiplayer. I mean, you can play the single-player version, but it is what it is. I didn't make a lot of co-op games that were like couch co-op. I think the only one I made was... no, I made two. I made... Blocked and Loaded on Xbox 360 was a couch co-op. You could have 4 people. No, not Blocked and Loaded. Block King. I shouldn't put block in every game, should I? It makes it hard to remember. Can't talk today. But yeah, Block King was up to 4 players on the couch, and the multiplayer worked with that too. Like you could go on a multiplayer game with 4 people sitting on the couch, and go play another team of 4. And Santa Slay was 2-player from the couch. So other than that, you really can't play any of my old Xbox games. Can I flip the slopes upside down? No, I didn't do upside down, but that's not a bad idea. I don't see why I couldn't. Yeah, I could. It wouldn't affect anything. It was really easy to do too. It's really cool what you can do with Unity. But yeah, I've made a lot of games, and I've ported them over to Steam as best as I could, or remade them entirely. So like Rabbit Plays, you might like Rogue Party 2. Just so you know, this is out there if you're interested. I recently published this. Is it recent? It was last year. Late in the year. But yeah, you might want to check out Rogue Party 2. I'll put it on the trailer up real quick. Is it going to load? No. Do I have to go small screen? Maybe. I have to go small screen, sorry. Why do I have to go small screen? The usual Let's Plays and walkthroughs. I did a video on a piece. Oh, you did! Thanks, man! I think Really Scary and both One Night You're Crazies actually work better with a controller. Yeah, they do. 100%. You're absolutely right. I do think they work better with a controller. But yeah, you should check out Rogue Party 2 if you like my games. This is definitely the best game that I've made. Like, hands down. And it's really fun with friends. And the reviews are hilarious. I love the people who make like funny reviews and then they play the game. They're like, well, actually, I kind of like this game. The reviews are out of this world. There were 2 recent ones that were I was just cracking up. Yeah, the game totally is a bullet hell sometimes, Panda. Adding the 3D aspect can really be a challenge when you were in a 2D world, because now the player can jump over bullets. So it makes it so that you almost have to do like a bullet hell, unless you have like ray tracing and instant shots from enemies that like just peg the player immediately like a bullet. If you have any kind of bullet travel time, you almost need to make it a bullet hell to make it interesting for the player. Otherwise, he just jumps over everything. I mean, that can be fun too, aka Mario. All right, let's populate the NPC. Oh, honestly, man, games, if there's a game you want, just let me know and I'll send you a code. Like, message me. Yeah, I don't want you to buy it if you're, if you're limited. Just let me know. It's not a big deal. I don't think I can do the whole bundle, but if you message me a game that you want to play, if I have any free codes, I'll send you one. It's honestly not a big deal. But yeah, and most of my games are pretty cheap, hopefully. I think the most expensive thing out there is probably Rogue Party 1 because it had a DLC. So like the total to play Rogue Party 1 is actually probably the most expensive thing I've done. But I've tried selling games for like $5 and like it does work. Like you actually make more money upping the price, but you get a lot less players. So I like, to me it's not really about making money. It's just that if I put the game out for free, it tends to not do well. So like putting a monetary value on it like makes people think effort was put into it a lot more anyway. So I don't know. I can wait. Okay. Like, I really don't mind. I've probably given out 400 copies of Rogue Party 2. That was actually one of my mistakes I've talked about on stream before. Panda's probably tired of hearing about it. But I sent out too many free copies of the game, and then when it came time to review it, nobody that got a free copy could. The reviews don't really count in the algorithm. So, so I ended up with like 12 real reviews, and I gave out like 400 copies of the game. It was a slight miscalculation. All right, what are we doing here? Let's do interactable mask. We need to figure out which NPC we're talking to and set that value. I think I had this concept of a current chest. Let's do a current NPC. Transform. I think that's it. Just hit that transform. Get components. Interactable scripts. Okay, so that'll tell me which NPC I hit. And then I want to turn that NPC towards the player. So we'll say, and I have to make sure that I take away the y-axis so he doesn't like look up and down. I have no Steam when I'm a kid. Oh, is that true? You can't get Steam as a... I didn't know that. Yeah, the Man Games, it was disappointing. It was really disappointing. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. So I made a couple of mistakes, and I'm gonna tell you, hey, Panda, this is for you, man, because you're making a game. I did not apply the marketing experience that I had from the WoW blog that I made back in the day that did really well. The thing that I should have done with Rogue Party 2 that would have been massive was create an email list, and when people, if people said to me, hey, can I get a copy of the game, I should have been like, sure, I'll give you one copy, sign up for my email list. and then when they sign up for the email list, when I publish a game, I can then email all those people that showed interest in the game and have like a contest for like a free copy. And that way I'm not giving out 400 copies, but I'm giving out like 1 or 2. But everyone who's on the list is interested in the game. And then, you know, like I said, when it's time to sell the game, you hit out your list, send out a message that says, hey, the game is live now. And then anytime you do an update or whatever, you hit that same list, or if you make a new game. That's what I should have done. Well, and the man games, honestly, that applies to anything. Like, email lists are fairly cheap to set up. They're extremely effective. And even though people are kind of getting annoyed by the spam in their emails, there are ways to do it correctly so that you're not spam. And so the way I used to do it on my WoW blog is when people signed up, I told them that they were signing up for 10 tips. And so what would happen is every day for the next 10 days, they would receive an email about a single tip. And it would be like a write-up and a video. And it would be actually like some effort was put into it. It wasn't just spam. And so they would start looking forward to the video that was coming out the next day. And then after 10 days, I would send them a like basically a sales pitch for something else that they could actually buy that wasn't just a bunch of free stuff. And they didn't have to buy it. But if they did, they would go on a separate email list that said these are people who are actually interested in buying things. And those people would receive different emails than the people who just wanted free stuff. And the result was that everybody was happy. You know, like the guys who just wanted free stuff got free stuff. And the guys who were willing to buy things were given offers to buy things. And my list retention was incredible. Like, people did not leave my lists. The people who wanted to buy stuff also got the free stuff too. Like, it wasn't like they only got a bunch of sales pitches. But it was just like every couple of months I'd have a new product or something, and I would send it just to my buyers list. And it was a really good system. And you could probably do something similar with games if you had like free games and paid games and whatnot. I probably should do it for this Blocked and Loaded game. Once Blocked and Loaded gets a little bit of steam, no pun intended, and I start to get closer to an alpha. I'm still in the phase of like just designing the game, making it work, seeing what it looks like, and figuring out what's fun. I'm not done yet. I have not decided yet if I'm going to have a jump, for example. Like right now, the player can jump. I'll show you. Like pretty high too. I'm thinking about taking it out. Because in the original game, you couldn't jump. But there was no 3D in the original game. But like being able to jump is a huge factor. Like you can get up on these plants. You get a tactical advantage over your enemy. Like it is a big deal. So I've got to think whether or not I really want it. Like you can have a 3D world with slopes and you know, that kind of thing without being able to jump like Mario. So I might either reduce the amount you can jump to make it more interesting, or you know, something in between maybe. But I'm not done, you know. There's still stuff to do. Thank you, Panda. 1,000 Coke sponsor, of course. Wait, actually 10,000. Oh, $10,000. Okay. So I never thought about doing sponsors in a game. I did. The closest I came was in the original Scarlet the Zombie Slayer. There were billboards. So you're riding on this monster thing. Like there's your girl with her sword, and you're riding on this monster and you're trying to hit his weak spot, and these like flying things are attacking you and trying to kill you, and in the background there's like barns and like little houses and things flying by, and out of nowhere there are just these enormous billboards that say like Santa Sleigh and like a picture of it, or like Zombie Town that are just randomly flying by. That's the only advertising I've ever done in my games. Oh, that and Appease the Spider had little like pictures of other games in it. Yeah, man games, having an email list is like a no-brainer. Really, it's really valuable, and there are free versions. I think you can get like I think Aweber charges nothing if you have less than 500 people on your email list. And trust me, if you have 500 people on an email list where they're very interested in your content, that's a big deal. Like you can do a lot with that. And I know that if I had put out an email list for Rogue Party 2, the thousands of people that viewed my streams over 6 months, because I was getting decent numbers, they could have all been, hitting the store page the day it came out and just flooding it with like responses and content, and because that's what the algorithm looks for. It looks for people interacting with the game. So even if they were just like talking in the forum on the game, it still would have counted as interactions, I think. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So it just like adds up all interactions and then says, okay, this game has more interactions than another. We'll put it higher on the list. Pretty sure that's how it works. I am guessing though. No one unless you work there knows the Steam formula. Crap, what was I doing? Oh yeah, turning the NPC. NCPs? NPCs. I can't type, I can't talk, I probably need more coffee. What is wrong with me today? Transform. Oh my gosh, come on. Dot rotation. I think I have to do local rotation. I have this wonderful look at thing. So we're going to start off with the NPC's game object. And I got to like take away the y-axis so he doesn't like look up and down. He just needs to turn at you. So we'll make a new vector 3. We'll zero out the y and just have the x and the z. And we'll be looking at the player. So same concept. I gotta take away the y-axis. Okay. Are you happy? Are you mad? What's going on? Why are you mad? Why are you mad? I actually don't know what's wrong here. What's going on? Got our X, our Y, and our Z. So what's the problem here? What? I feel stupid. I'm just going to do it up here. For some reason, I can't see today. But if you had to pick a game that I'd made, Rabbit Plays, what would you want? It's interesting. I've made a lot of games and a lot of different genres. And I always find it neat which ones people gravitate towards. Like, there are some people who really, really like you seem to do, the stop animation and the real-life photo games. And the one thing I've found in common with those people is they seem to like the fact that they could have made it themselves. Like they tend to go off with a camera and try to recreate them. I was just curious if you do that as well. And they tend to be younger people, and that's something that I used to do too. Like when I was a kid, I used to see a game and then try to go remake it, whether it was with a camera or just playing pretend or whatever. Oh, I'm so stupid. Ugh. The look at function is expecting a game object, not a vector 3. That's why it didn't work. All right, I have to make a look at, and that ignores the y-axis. Call it look at, no y. Oh wait, it already does that. It does already do it. Okay, I'm stupid. I already had this figured out a long time ago. I literally just have to say look at, and then the NPC's current NPC game object. That's it. And then look at the player's transform. Empty. I think I can just do player.transform.position. Boom. I don't need any of this other garbage. It actually already does it for me. I just forgot that I figured that out like probably 4 weeks ago. We're going to see any guns with scopes? Yes, I am going to do guns with scopes, definitely. The original Blocked and Loaded had, I think, only one gun that had a scope, and it was the rocket launcher. And it was like this squarish thing that you would look into. It didn't work correctly. Scopes are actually kind of challenging because like the bullet comes out from under the scope, so like you have to be careful that the scope actually points at where you're going to shoot instead of pointing above where you're going to shoot. Because if you think about like where the scope is and then where the gun is, if the bullet comes out here, it's actually below the scope. It's not accurate. So you have to kind of like do that almost. There's ways to do it. There's ways to do. You can hack it. There's ways to do it. You can also have the bullet just come out of the scope. And in first-person shooters, I believe that's how they solve the problem. Because they don't show you. Oh, the man game streams. Thank you very much, sir. Oh, he's doing double duty. He's following on both YouTube and Twitch. That's what a legend. So yeah, so scopes are a little tricky. I think that the way a lot of games handle it is they use this and they do ray tracing, so the bullet just instantly appears at the target. Scope bullets. Yeah, it is. Isn't it amazing what they come up with? But like the way a game like DayZ does it is they actually realistically predict the bullet drop, which is really cool. It's like the bullet is actually coming out like on an angle to meet the scope, but that's like, I don't want to get into physics. I did enough math at work this week. I did so much math at work. So usually when I program, I don't have to do any math, but I had to make a bunch of formulas work. And so I had to like learn what the formulas were actually doing. And I was just like, oh my God, my head. I don't want to think about all this math. And like half the math was like symbols instead of numbers. You know what I'm talking about? It's like they start adding like ABC in there instead of 1, 2, 3. It's just a little crazy. But yeah, scope bullets. You got to watch out for those scope bullets. They'll get you, man. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff like people don't think about in video games, right? Like there's so many little things that we do. I say we, but you know, that developers do that kind of gets around the actual reality of the situation and just kind of like makes it work, and you would never realize it. Forget what I said. You'll never realize it. Just pretend it all works. Okay, so now if I did this correctly, the NPC should turn and look at you. The only other thing I wanted to do with the turning was to make sure the NPC remembered the way he was facing before you interacted with him and then snap back to it. So I want to do like a variable on the NPC itself. Oh, look, I remember. I had it already. Dude, I'm so nice to future me. Like, I write comments for myself because I know I'm going to forget things. Use this to go back to after talking to the player. Yeah, see, there you go. I wrote that because I was like, you're going to forget about this, dummy. There's no way you remember this. So we got this default rotation. I'm going to say default rotation. Oh, you can't find the chat. The chat is at the bottom right. It's a little gray bar. I don't know if you're allowed to chat without signing in. So I don't know that part. You can watch wherever you feel comfortable. Wherever you feel comfortable is great. I really appreciate it. It's funny, like Rabid Play has brought up the fact that, you know, he's a kid playing games and he's like, please put it on Xbox. Like, kids have way more accessibility to consoles than PCs, and so you end up with a lot more kids on consoles than on PCs because you're not going to buy a $1,000 computer for someone who's 8 years old. So a lot of my games that I made on Xbox 360 were all geared towards kids. So it was like, you know, Santa Sleigh. It's like this goofy shoot 'em up with like dark humor and like guys getting shot, like the pixelated blood and stuff. Like, it was all kid. It looked like a kid drew it, first of all, because I can't draw for crap. And it was like silly and had like sped up voices for the elf. You know, so it sounded like a chipmunk voice. Like, it was just all just silly. But it actually did pretty well because it's all kids who are just looking for something to play on their console, and they're only allowed so many $60 games. So a lot of them would buy like the dollar games on Xbox 360. I had like 100,000 downloads for Really Scary, and I would bet you it's mostly kids. Oh, sorry, Man Games. Yeah, Pandas Don't Fly has some good comments. I'm sorry you can't see them. I think you have to log in. That could be why you can't see stuff. There's also like a button to like hide and show. I don't know. Twitch is kind of complicated, right? It has a lot of features. Okay, so we save the rotation. We set our current NPC. And now I just have to handle when you stop looking at him. So when we go to set up camera. Where do I handle chests, actually? 1 second. Let me yell at this telemarketer. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, my warranty's expiring. Oh, I'm financially responsible. Oh my gosh, yes, please. Oh, why is the... What? What? What was that switch? What? What? What was that? Could you guys hear that? I was a telemarketer. It was like a robot, and like it got 90 of the way percent through the message, and at the very end it switched to like some dude from the girl's robotic voice. You were a teenager? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it was probably also scarier. Oh, you could barely hear it? Yeah, the dude's voice came on at the end, like, oh, you can call our number. Blah, 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 blah. What the hell was that? I'm sorry, that was very funny to me. That tickled me. Your car's warranty is running out. It's time for you to give us your credit card number and your social security number, and we'll take care of it for you. I don't know if you guys do this, but like I did a telemarketer call that was obviously like a scam, like that one was. They're not even telemarketers; they're scammers, and they were calling, and they were basically trying to take advantage of old people. But they called my grandpa, and they were trying to get him to like give them information about his computer so that they could get onto the computer. They were literally gonna like, what's that program called, Seven or something, where you hack into somebody's computer and remote into it. And they were trying to get the information they needed, like IP address and firewall rules turned off and that kind of thing. And they were talking to my grandpa, and I took the phone. I was like, "Hey, I'm his grandson. I'll help you guys out." And so I pretended I was doing everything they said to do. And they're trying to like hack into his computer, and I gave him like the wrong IP and like didn't do anything else that they asked, and they were on the phone with me for like an hour. And then at the end I was like, and I might have people watching who are younger right now, so I got to be careful because I know at least some of my nephews like to watch randomly, but so I basically said a bad word, but I was like, all right, I got your email, and it says, screw off, but I used more colorful language, and the guy on the phone, I think I could hear his face turning red. He was so angry. He was so mad. And he was just like, screw you too. I'm like, how do you sleep at night? You're hacking into oh, you're the local police? That's really good. Actually, I saw this one video. It was a comedian, and he was like he was talking about a telemarketer called him to like sell him insurance for his car, similar to what I just got. And he goes, excuse me, how do you know Paul? And the telemarketer's like, hi, I'm calling. They start reading their script. And he goes, excuse me, how do you know the victim? And the telemarketer like stopped, like, wait, what? And he goes, Paul's dead. He's been murdered. We're looking into it right now. You're calling a crime scene? How do you know the victim? And he gets the telemarketer's information. He pretends to be a police officer, and he gets the telemarketer to tell him the guy's name, his phone number. Like he switches it, like he flips it around, and he basically becomes the scammer on the scammer. And it's so funny. And this was not a straight up scam. Like, this was somebody actually trying to sell something for a company. So it's the definition of telemarketing. He wasn't like trying to like steal someone's information. But it's just really funny that the comedian was able to turn it around and get from the telemarketer what he tries to get from you. I thought that was just so brilliant. He did another skit where I forget the guy's name. I feel bad now. I should know that. I tell the story all the time. But at one point, he actually got two Chinese companies to talk to each other, Chinese food restaurants to talk to each other. And so he called one, and he goes, all right, I'm going to place my order in 1 second. Just let me ask everybody what they want. And he puts them on hold. And then he calls the other Chinese food place, and he says, I'd like this, this, and this. Hey, can you repeat that back to me? And then he conferences them in together. So the one Chinese company reads Chinese. Why did I say company? The one Chinese food restaurant reads to the other restaurant the order, and then all hell breaks loose. It's absolutely hilarious. Because like the guy's like, all right, you want pork fried rice with this and this, and he goes, okay, pork fried rice. He goes, no, I'm asking you what kind, like what size. He goes, okay, we have small, large, medium, and the guy's like, yeah, which one do you want? It's like it's absolutely hilarious. It's so good. It's sort of mean. It's kind of mean, but yeah, that comedian is great. Like, just, yeah. Which size do you want? We have pork fried rice. Yes, we have pork fried rice. What size? Like they just go back and forth. It's so good. Like, he's reading the whole order back. Oh my god. And then the guy's like, "We'll be there in 15 minutes," and the other guy's like, "No. So you want pickup?" And the other guy's like, "No, I thought you said delivery." It's so good. Sorry, it's really, yeah, it is funny, Man Games. It is really funny. I forget the damn. If you Google that, you'll find it. If you Google that situation, like one Chinese restaurant calling another, or talking to another, you'll find the comedian's name for me. But yeah. All right. So at what point do we stop talking to the NPC? Right here. We turn on the NPC chat. I guess up here I could double check that you like just left talking to an NPC. I think I did it with current chests. Let me see this. Current chest. Aha! Yeah, this will do it too. So if NPC current NPC is greater than a -1, and NPC's current NPC, that game object exists. It should always exist, so I probably don't need to check that. Just the greater than -1 thing. And then we'll say current NPC's current NPC dot game object transform dot rotation is equal to dot default rotation. I think I have to say local rotation here. I think that's what I have to do. Okay. It's Golden Maven. Thank you. Wow, you were fast, dude. Golden Maven, if you want to look that guy up. Yeah, my biggest complaint about the scammers is that when you tell them like the gig is up, I know you're scamming me, they still call. Like that's the thing that bothers me. It's like, okay, you like you really don't care about wasting anyone's time, even your own. That's the mark of a true scammer. A true degenerate wastes his own time knowing it's a waste of time. Well, it's because it's all automated, right? It's all like automatic robots. But I get annoyed when like a person calls me and they're like, "Hi, is Lori there?" And I'm like, first of all, I've never even met someone named Lori. Second, no one named Lori lives here. Where'd you get that information from? And the guy will be like, "We looked it up in the public record, and I'd like to sell you blah blah blah." And I'll be like, "Excuse me, sir," and he'll keep talking. It's like, "No, sir, no one named Lori lives here." He goes, "Oh yes, but are you the owner of the home?" And I'm like, "Yes, but Lori doesn't live here, and you called Lori, so I'm gonna hang up." You know, I try to get them to like at least admit that they're just like annoying. How do you live with yourself? Damn it. Does that actually work? Like, it must only work on the elderly. Like somebody who's, especially the scammers. Like, it only, like my grandpa would just, he would see like, you won a free vacation. You know, of course you have to spend $3,000 to win, quote unquote, the vacation. But he would see it and he'd get so excited, you know, and he'd think he actually won something, and he'd give them all his information, and then the next day we had to cancel his credit card. You know, they take advantage of old people. Oh, okay. I think he was the first, though. I could be wrong, but I think he was like the guy that created that concept. Still got my music, right? Let me turn it up. Okay. The music is supposed to be like faint, and it's really quiet for me, and it should be like a quarter of the sound of my voice. It's just something in the background. I can't make it too loud though, or else YouTube gets mad. The YouTube overlords. You'll watch, like, it'll show like 30, especially if I have a long stream. Like this one, we're going pretty long right now. Have we gone 4 hours? I think. It'll just be like 30 songs listed at the bottom of the channel, like when the YouTube video gets created, and then it'll say demonetized. I'm like, ah, oh, dang it. And so one of the things you'll see streamers do that also stream on YouTube when they're doing Twitch is they'll put the sound really, really low so it doesn't get picked up, and they'll try to talk over it a lot to prevent that. I'm all for giving people credit, like I'm not against that at all. It's the demonetization that's the problem. And because it's not that I actually care about my video being quote unquote monetized for revenue, because I don't have ads on my videos, so I can't get money anyway. But like, I don't turn them on. But I'm more concerned about the fact that if it's demonetized, it's not visible. So I've had to get away from any music that has vocals in it and just play something soft in the background. I play like no copyright music a lot. Today I took a risk and I played some epic music, I think it's called, 5-hour epic remix. And this might get demonetized. I don't know. I'll have a link probably in the description to it. But like, to me, like, putting the link in is enough, you know? Like, the music is not the focal point. It's just something in the background to listen to. And like with Twitch, I thought the concept was you're just kind of hanging out and people play music in the background when they hang out. You know, it's a little complicated because you make money from it. But to me, it's like, if it's not the focus of the video, you shouldn't get demonetized for having it quietly in the background. Yeah, it's hard, man. If I made music, I'd be really pissed if people did that, probably. So I get where it's coming from. I think it's really unfortunate, like, the way people pirate music and whatnot. But I feel like if you mention to someone the music that you're using and you put like a link in your description, like, to me that's enough. And then if that person wants to buy it and listen to it privately, that's fine. Like, no one is gonna, I think here's the point, no one is gonna jam out to music on the channel because they're also listening to what I'm saying. You know, it's not like the focus is to listen to the music and jam and nod your head along and, you know, play it in the background because you like the music. Like, the music is just something to fill the void in between the words. That's it. It's not the focus. It's very much the background. And there's no line legally. There's no way to differentiate like creative content, the focus versus not the focus. And like, if you have a background on your PC that's copyrighted and it occasionally appears while you're like moving objects around on the screen, that's copyright valid. Yeah, that's illegal. You know, you're using a copyright image to make money. But it's like, no, it's on the back of my screen. Like, we've lost the idea that the concept of Twitch being just like hanging out together. Like, and the problem really is the fact that people make money off it. That's the problem. Use my music any way they want, and it's free. So I'll make a suggestion for you. Go on Fiverr if you haven't already, and put up some of your free music, and then offer to do 10-second intros for people's YouTube channels, where you create the music for them. Just 10 seconds, you know, really short. $5, 10-second intro. Maybe you have a bunch saved up, so you just tweak them a little bit so it's easy for you to do. You know, takes you 2 minutes to make it because you've already made it before, and you make $5. And then what you do when the person like purchases that, you then email them, and outside of Fiverr, or I think Fiverr even has this concept now where you can upscale beyond $5, but you can say, hey, let's work something out. You need me to make any more music for you? And that way you can do like these little $5 things that don't really make you money, but they might lead to like, hey, I'll give you $100 for, you know, a score for my video game, or you know, I need a bunch of sound effects, or, you know, like, you could upscale it. That's just a suggestion. You do whatever the hell you want. I don't care. That's fine. But I know that I've seen people do that, especially with like voiceover work. I had a guy when I was selling my gold guide. It's so funny now because WoW is having the whole Burning Crusade coming out again, and that's when my WoW guide first came out. I might do a podcast with Jamin on that, by the way. We might do a podcast. I'll let everybody know. But yeah, like when that stuff came out. Oh shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. I asked a guy to do a voiceover for me for that guide for like the intro, the 30-second intro, and he was like, well, I usually do 10-second intros, so for 30 seconds, I'll do it for like $50. I was like, okay, great. So we handled it like outside with PayPal, outside of Fiverr, which is totally legal, by the way. Fiverr does not have any rules against that. But the whole idea was his advertisement was a $5 thing, but you could always upscale it. So that'd be something you could do if you want to actually like make some money out of it. But I think more importantly, it would expose you to requests from people that made you like try new things, you know, versus just making something as a hobby. Some people find it really interesting and entertaining to get a request from someone to make something new. I don't like to sell and promote music or anything. I don't even get paid for YouTube. Okay, hey, do what you want, man. Some people do not like when money is involved. Like, if you have a hobby that you're only doing for fun and you feel like money would cause it to be less fun, then you shouldn't do the money aspect. I'll be honest with you. I am toying with making Blocked and Loaded 2 a 100% free game. I really am. Because I feel like the only thing that's stopping me from doing it is the idea that there's so many free games out there that it would get really washed out, like just overwhelmed by all the free games that come out. But I would have to find some way to monetize it to, you know, for how much time I put into this stuff, but like to justify it. But I do kind of want to do free. I do want to give it a try. It would be nice to see a bigger audience in one of my games. Like the original Blocked and Loaded, I think it never got more than like 30 players at once, like at the exact same time. So it'd be nice to see like 100, 200 people playing. I don't know if making it free actually does expose it to more people. Like that's the assumption, because it's more accessible, but I don't know if it actually will be in front of more eyeballs than something that is paid for. Because here's the thing, when you have a paid product on Steam and you put a discount on it, it gets highlighted and becomes more visible. So when you have a free product, you can't do that. So you only have the initial launch, and then anytime you update the game, like a major update, where you can create visibility for the game. And so I'm very nervous about making the game free, because if I start out with the game free and then I charge for it, that's a big no-no. So Panda, I'm gonna hit allow on this. Yeah, for whatever reason, just so you know, Twitch does not like it when you say that H word. I'm just letting you know. I can imagine why, but I'll allow it, yeah. Wait, I permanently allowed it? No, I don't want that. I don't want to... I know you didn't do it. It's just a stupid automated bot. I wouldn't have done anything. One thing to note, never make it in the 99-cent to $2 range. Steam has become infested. Yeah. Yeah, I do feel like I have to go $3 range with certain types of games. At the price range, I mean hundreds. Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason those games started showing up in my suggested, and I turned off adult games. Like I went into Steam and I manually disabled the dang adult games, and I still get them suggested to me. And it pisses me off because I don't even own one. And it's like it's just freaking disgusting. Just showing up in my, like, I'll be like, "Oh, cool, an RPG." Oh my god, what the hell is that? What are these tentacles? Ah, my eyes! Yeah, it's not good. And then imagine if I'm on stream and I open up Steam and for whatever reason I click on like recommended or something and then boom, that pops up. Like, oh my goodness. Insta banned. If you do make it free, I'll get it and do a video on it and try to get some people on there. Man Games, I'm still offering to give you the game for free, dude. I really appreciate the support. Pandas Don't Fly said, yeah, Steam says suggested based on games you've been playing. And yeah, exactly. You're playing like, you know what I think it is? If you play any Japanese game, I think is what causes it. And I don't know what game I played, but what's really annoying about it is that you turn off the adult, like it says, do not show me adult games, and they still get through somehow. So I don't know if that's still a problem. It was a problem a couple weeks ago. It could be like a bug in their system because they created like you guys don't get to see it, but on the developer end, they made this new system where you can create a bunch of categories for your game, and the categories are the same as they've always been to you guys. So it doesn't look different for you. But on the developer side, the way we select them is completely different. It's like an algorithm. And it's like the computer basically asks you, give me a couple of ideas of what you think your game is. Like, oh, I think it's a third-person game, and it's a thriller, and it has all these categories, right? And you pick from those categories. The computer then meshes them together, and you have to select a certain number of categories. Whereas before, you could only select a couple of things and be like, okay, that describes my game perfectly. Now it's like, okay, we got to tell the perspective, and you got to say whether there are puzzles or not. And you have to like go through this list. And I think that system is broken, and there's something in that list for those adult games that causes them to show up outside of the adult category. I think that's what happened. It's the only thing I can think of that changed on Steam recently, and I think it caused them to pop out and be exposed in other areas. All those puns intended. So, grab onto your tentacles. You're in for a rough ride. This current NPC thing. Where do I change current chest to 0? Aha. That's where I want to do it. By the way, Man Games, Loot or Die 2, or not Loot. Dang it, I can't think or talk. I must be tired. I need another coffee. Rogue Party 2, the entire score was written by, what's his name? Shady Game? No, it was the guy who did the GUI. Saki. If you look at the credits in Rogue Party 2, you'll see it's Saku, I think. I have the name on like the front page of it, but he's really nice, and he also did the music for Appease the Spider. And if you had music that you wanted to see in one of my games, I am more than happy to take it and try it out and see if it fits. Like, definitely. And I would pay you. I offered him the same thing. Saku just wanted credit on the credit page for his Instagram, I think. But if you ever were interested, 100%, I'm more than happy to take someone making an attempt at a score for a game. And if you wanted money or you wanted like just acknowledgement, whatever, we'll work something out. So I actually get it more than you think. Like, I get a lot of people who offer, but very few people actually come through and like deliver something. So like, don't feel bad if you say yes and then you don't feel like you make something you want to give me. But yeah, I've had a bunch of people offer, and they're all like you. There's somebody who's like just making sound as a hobby. How's your clicker game coming, Panda? If you want to put a link to it, I think you put it in the Discord. I don't know if you have a website or anything. But yeah, feel free to throw it in the community stuff. What is this, Panda? What is that? Amazing first person hand view. I love it. It's freaking amazing. What is that? What are you doing? It's not out yet? Oh, okay, but you can put some images up again. I thought they were really cool. And you had a video up there. Sound, I have a few instrumental tracks you can use. Hey, send them my way, dude, on the Discord. I don't know if you can see the Discord on YouTube. You know what? I'll have to update my description when I'm streaming to include the Discord. It is on the Twitch. If you join on there, you can send them. You can IM the equivalent of IM them to me. Message me. All right. So I think if I did this right, the NPC is gonna turn and look at me, and then oh, I broke something. What did I break? Yes, of course, I broke this. I already know he's messed up because he's not colored correctly. Something broke on him. Alright, let me take all this current NPC stuff out and just get him back to the way he was. Let me take this all out. Let's get back to a good state. Okay. Come on. I just want to see that he gets the right colors, and nope, he's still messed up. The Discord is not on your about page on your YouTube channel. Alright, I'll have to get it on there. Oh, it's informational. Oh, you want to see a hand holding the gun? Remember the original Blocked and Loaded? The gun would like... It would float. And this is the way I'm doing it now, but it just floats in front of the person's face. Yeah, I definitely... you know what game did have, or that I was working on that did have, like, hands and stuff visible? Was the zombie game that I was making. It actually showed, like, his hand holding the weapon, and you were, like, looking straight down his eyes, like, when he would aim the crossbow and stuff. And so you could see it. I wasn't finished the game, obviously, so I haven't really used it. Oh, thank you, the Man Games. Yeah, I'll make a note here to add it to my YouTube. Sorry, our progress has slowed to a crawl because we're having fun, but that's okay. YouTube needs Discord in descriptions when streaming and about page. That's true. I forgot about my about page. Oh my gosh, what does my about page say? Now that you mention that, what is it like still my Diablo website? Oh my gosh, it's the... Does that even work? I'm trying it now. What the hell? What happened to my website? No! What is this? No! What is that? My website. No! Wait, does Wayback Machine work? Wayback Machine. Oh my gosh. Alright. We're gonna say... I can't do this on stream because I don't know if I'm gonna get like a bad image. How do I say... Okay. Let me see. We'll go to 2012 when this thing was just taking off like crazy. January 2012. How do I see the page? Can I see it? Sorry, I'm doing this here. This is what I'm looking at right now. I'm trying to get the Wayback Machine to show me Diablo 3 GoldGuide.net 2012. 9 years ago. What did the website look like? Is this what it looked like? Oh my goodness. Oh, I remember I paid someone for this image. Oh, there's the Aweber pop up. Oh, there's me. Oh my god, I'm so young. Oh my god. We had a blog carnival, the forum. Oh my goodness, this is so long ago. This was my blog. 20k leveling for World of Warcraft. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Well, all right, let's do 20k level, or let's do just my 2 copper. .org. And we'll do 2010. Well, the blog really picked up in 2011, so we'll do 2011 October. Just random day. I'll have to see which version of the website this was, because it went through so many different versions. Some of them were bad, some of them were amazing. This might be the good one. Yeah, just my 2 copper. Oh my god, it's going to load in here. It's not done. Oh, I love this website, man. I love this so much. I had my tutorials, my guide, the blogging carnivals that I'd run with all the other bloggers, the gold forums, JMTC. Oh my gosh, I remember this stuff, man. Oh, 0 readers? No one follows it anymore? It used to have 12,000. No one even, like, forgot and left it there? Oh my god, that might be a mistake. Oh my gosh, I love this website. So I paid a lot of money for this back in the day. I paid a lot of money for this. This was like cutting edge in 2012. It was, 9 years ago. This kind of website was really cool. And there was a lot of like neat features on it that are just commonplace nowadays. Featured on. Now, some of these might still work. This is actually really cool. Because I was on like podcasts and other websites and stuff. So some of these links might actually be good. That's so cool. World of Warcraft news. These are all like the podcasts that I went on and did interviews with people and stuff. It was such a big deal. Yeah, dude, like look at this website. This was so cool, man. It was so clean. I loved this. Give me my guide. See, this is what I was talking about though. 7 theories on making gold. Guaranteed to put you ahead of 99% of players. Although I think this might not have been done by me. At this point, I might have sold the website. Because if you look here, none of these are written by Marco. Yeah, these are all guest posts. So my guess is I had already left at that point. And I had already sold the website. So you can go back to September, excuse me. It is really cool that they archived this. I mean, this was a lot of work. That website and the forum and everything else about it. Yeah, these at this point I had already given away. Is this by Marco? So this was me. This was me selling something. Yeah, at this point, the website had grown a lot, and you know, like some of the posts were getting, you know, a lot of comments, and everything was getting a lot of traffic, and I got to the point where I was like, okay, maybe I should start farming out the content a little bit. And then I got to the point where I was like, okay, I think I don't want to do this anymore. I'll just let other people write it, and I'll work on the business side of it. But if you go way back to like when it first started, it was a much different website. But what's really cool about this is I can maybe go back and see some of the earliest posts. Look at that, 11,000 readers. This was like the height of the website. So it's not loading in very well. Anyway, I wanted to do this this like going back Mage Shadow was writing. So cool, man. Hey everyone, it's Marker again. Here today to tell you about what your competition doesn't know. I had so much fun with this. This is great. It was so interesting to make this. Anyway, that part of my life is long over. I do need to update the About page. I will do that. Sorry, that was like a trip down memory lane for me. Sent you a link to SoundCloud. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. All right, guys. I've been streaming for almost 5 hours. I'm getting a little sloppy and sluggish. I think I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna do a little bit of work off screen. And I got some other stuff I gotta do in real life. But I will be on tomorrow, again, and we'll have some fun, and hopefully I'll have some more changes to the game for you. I really appreciate everybody hanging out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. Good luck and have fun. Thanks again, guys. Bye, guys. Appreciate it.